Hello all and welcome to another Sunday night short. I've been going through my tool cabinet and clearing out some of the drawers which have got a bit of rubbish in, so there's a few tools I've come across that I'll show you. I've got some new purchases. I had a planning session yesterday on the suspension modifications I'm doing. The new stuff still isn't drawn up, so I haven't started on that. I'm going to be, I think, doing a bit of tooling for the lathe. Again, that's still in the planning stages. And I'll throw in one more of the bike collection, and there's still a few more of those to go. So let's get onto the bench with the other camera. Okay, let's start with the mystery tools. Now this is obviously a puller of some kind. I don't know where it came from. It's been in one of the bottom drawers of my roller cabinet for a while. Now I think I know what this is, and I think it's for pulling the rear hubs on old side valve Fords, so 810s and later Anglias and Populars. I'd have to check in the house. I've got some old books on Ford specials, and so there may be a picture of this in there that will match up. The next one that was at the back of the same drawer was this puller, and you can unscrew this section, which obviously has a number of different sized puller washers, big spacer sleeve, and the main body. And I mean, I can think of things you could use it for, with pulling bearings and so on, but I just wondered if anybody out there, because it does appear to be a commercial product, it just has that kind of feel about it, though I couldn't see any markings on it. So if anybody knows what the official original purpose of it was, I'd be interested to hear. You may remember this from a previous Sunday night short, and I did actually discover that this has a maker's name on there. Having slacked the thing off for not feeling at all nice in the hand, I now have to say at least it's not British. I'm afraid it's American, and it says the Girard Wrench Manufacturing Company, Girard, PA, and I mean, I have actually used it. I used it to free off that that puller which was all seized up, so it works. Just as I said before, it just does not feel right in the hand. Anyway, moving on. I rounded up and put back in its tray my deburring set. As you can see, it says Facom up here, and it came in a box that was marked RS Components, but there's the little Noga symbol on there, and I got this from a cash converters shop. And you can, it's obviously got the deburring tool with the interchangeable quick release tips. That's the one I usually have in there. And then you can put that one in there. and there are a couple of different size heads, and the handle will also accept a 3-corner triangular scraper, which I frequently find useful. And then you also got standard little fixed blade as well. I think I stood on the box at one stage and broke it. Either that, I just got fed up with it, having to open the box and spill the bits when you want to use it, rather than just having the tray in the drawer. So I've got my telescopic gauges were not particularly good, so I've been looking out for a better set, and I found some on eBay, still with their original box. And with their packing paper. So, and what's really noticeable compared to mine are the ends are properly radiused. They look like a spherical surface, whereas my cheap set, you can see peaks on them that aren't necessarily on centre. So happy with that acquisition. And we have a little box here. And little 10 micron, so 0.01 dial gauge, Starrett of course, very recognisable style, and not with its box, but with its accessories, couple of different diameter tips, and the and mounting studs, and I think I paid about £30 for that. Now some of you may have seen, I think it's Stan, Shade on HKW. I should have made a note before I came out here. Was correcting a certain amount of limpness in one of his IKEA double boost, as they have come to be known, machine lights, and he did it with Loc-Line. And of course he was mentioning one of the problems with Loc-Line is trying to get these things together without the pliers. You know, they're quite hard work to snap together. Well, I did mention as a comment on his video a way of doing this, and I'll just get this set up and show you a very simple trick. Okay, so I've just got a little bit of rod set up in the vise here. And I think you'll have probably got the idea by now. I'll pop a little washer up on the top to protect things. And sometimes you can just do it by giving it a little squeeze. And one piece of Loc-Line all assembled, and the rod also comes in handy for separating the links individually as well. We're out in the back lane behind my house again, because we're going to look at another one of my bike collection. And this is my real old one. Officially dated by the Vintage Motorcycle Club at 1929. It's a 350cc Favell, which is a fairly obscure mark even in France. And I saw this advertised online by a dealer, and one of the things that just really caught my eye was this magnificent headlamp, which I think you can see the faceted reflector in there. Now the engine is a side valve, and the lots of the parts look as if they're British, and they kind of are. The engine was made by J.A. Prestwich, for Favell, and has the name cast into the crankcases. The magneto is a Magneti Morelli. The carburettor is very similar to an AMAC or AMAL, but is a Gertner, which I believe they were made under license to the AMAC design. Likewise, the gearbox looks like a Berman lightweight, but the little, I don't know if I can, is that little pressed steel plate on the top, and the writing on the sector there say Staub. And they clearly parts made under license. Front forks got a slightly unusual setup on the friction dampers, with the it operating on the inside linkage there, with that plate bearing against this one with the prongs. It's got a lovely little faceted rear light to match the front. The only thing that's actually missing is this cutout here, is for a dynamo, which will be belt driven off the crankshaft there, and I haven't been able to discover what the original type of dynamo would have been, what the manufacturer was. But a lot of these may not have been sold as standard with a dynamo anyway, and you'd run a total loss battery system. but I'm told it's a runner. It's certainly got decent compression. It needs going through from front to rear. There's a lot of play in the wheel bearings. And the bearing for the hopefully you can see that, you know, there's the bushes in the back plate there are really seriously shut. But this is yet another one of my back burner projects. But having had it dated at, or confirmed dated, it was sold to me as a 29. As a 29, it's eligible for the Banbury run, organised by the VMCC for pre-1930s machines. And the Banbury run's quite heavily oversubscribed, so having an unusual mark like Favell gives me a much larger chance of being able to actually get an entry. Oh yeah, there's one more part that you'd think would be familiar, the little oil pump there, which has a sight glass in the top for you to set the number of drips per minute. You'd normally expect that to be a Pilgrim, and again it appears to be a copy, and it's a micro.